What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And Liverpool are trying to sign David Alaba in the January transfer window. His contract is up in the summer, but Liverpool don't want to wait until then, and we will try and convince Bayern Munich to let Alaba go to us, because otherwise they are getting absolutely nothing from the David Alaba transfer, because his contract is up at the end of the season, and Bayern Munich tried 3 times to extend Alaba's contract and Alaba turned it down 3 times in a row, and he is looking to move on. So Bayern Munich have pretty much given up extending David Alaba's contract, and we will have a major update on Liverpool injuries later on in this video as well. So guys, if you enjoy these transfer news updates, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest Liverpool news on my channel. At this point, it's pretty much almost a 0 chance that Alaba renews his contract. They have been talking for like more than a year between Alaba, his agent, and Bayern Munich on extending his contract, but Alaba's wage demands are a little bit higher than what Bayern Munich want to pay, and Alaba is still only 28 years old and he's a very versatile centre-back. Mainly he was a left back and the centre-back for Bayern Munich. This season he has played as a centre-back for Bayern Munich all season long, which means that he could come in and straight away slot into the Liverpool side. And I think it's absolutely crucial for Liverpool to bring in a centre-back as soon as possible, because both Van Dijk and Gomez are out long-term with injuries, at least 5 to 6 months. And Emil Heskey urged Liverpool to make the transfer happen. He said this: "You've got a player who plays left back, left-sided centre-back and left wing-back, and he can step into midfield as well. You've got a younger version of James Milner, someone who can tick all the boxes, but also tick them well, because Alaba is a borderline world-class player still. If you look at what Alaba achieved, he's a winner, so he knows what it takes to win, and that's what you want within your squad, because that rubs off on the younger players as well, because what you do and what you have achieved, they want to do as well." And Alaba not only lifted 9 Bundesliga titles, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me, that he won 9 league titles already with Bayern Munich. It just shows how dominant Bayern Munich have been in the past decade and a half. And he also won the Champions League twice with Bayern Munich. He won like 6 German Cups. So Alaba pretty much won everything with Bayern Munich, and it's time for him to start his next chapter in his career. And Danny Murphy, who is now working as a pundit, but he used to be a Liverpool midfielder, said that Alaba, in terms of his ability, he absolutely fits into this Liverpool team. He's a super player. I suppose what you would have to be looking at from Jurgen Klopp's perspective is the balance of the squad moving forward when everybody is fit, or you just look short term and get the best option possible, which would be Alaba. And I mean, yes, long term Alaba works as well as short term, so there is no argument against signing Alaba. The only way that I can say Liverpool not signing David Alaba is that if he wants like exorbitant wages, like incredible wages, that's the only way that I can see Liverpool not signing him. But Danny Murphy went on to say this: "I would be wanting for Jurgen Klopp to do the transfer. You can't have enough good players. I think he would certainly add quality and strength in depth, and there will be a lot of people interested and a lot of takers for David Alaba." David James is another ex-Liverpool player that would be in favor of David Alaba signing for Liverpool. So he said he's a phenomenal player. Of course Liverpool would want him. I think the top 6 English clubs would want him if he was available, but it's what you do once you've got him. These short-term fixes have long-term consequences, because you end up pushing someone further down the line. You aren't going to sign him for 2 minutes. You are going to sign him long term, and it's whether it fits into the Liverpool plan. One thing Liverpool have been good at is recruitment since Jurgen Klopp took over. So if they weren't thinking about David Alaba before his want to move on, then he wouldn't be one of their targets, even if he became available. Yes, but Van Dijk and Gomez suffering 6-month injuries pretty much changes a lot of the Liverpool transfer strategy. And also, even if we are saying yes, long term David Alaba will push somebody out if we sign him, Joel Matip is like 31 years old very soon, and he will probably be sold in 1 or 2 years, and David Alaba can still play at the top for at least 4, 5, 6 years, and that could be at Liverpool. Yes, to sell Matip pretty much in 1 or 2 seasons is almost an inevitability, especially with how injury prone he has been. I mean, Matip barely played in the last calendar year, and David Alaba could be a straight replacement for Joao Matip. And even when Van Dijk and Gomez comes back, Alaba is like a jolly joker. He's such a versatile player. He is James Milner, but essentially 6 years younger, and maybe even a better player than James Milner, because Alaba can play pretty much everywhere apart from striker. He can play on the left wing back role, left back role, centre back role, even right back. I think Alaba can play, and certainly across the midfield he can play almost anywhere. And at the start of this month, Bayern Munich actually retracted and basically took back their latest contract offer, which was on the table previously to David Alaba, because he didn't sign it and he wanted, I think, more bonuses, something like that. Heiner, who is the chief executive at Bayern Munich, said, "We presented Alaba with a really good, very fair, competitive offer. We told David's agent during the last meeting that we wanted clarity and an answer by the end of October, because we want to plan for such an important position and personnel. But we didn't hear anything. Our sporting director, Salihamidzic, then contacted the agent, and now the answer was that the offer is still unsatisfying and that we should think more. We then decided to take the offer off the table completely. That means there is no longer any offer for David Alaba to sign a new contract. Basically, this means that the agent got a little bit greedy. He wanted more money from Bayern Munich, and Bayern just said, okay, that's enough, we don't want to extend your contract anymore, so you are free to go. And that's why I think that Liverpool could work this to their advantage by offering Bayern Munich cash in the January transfer window. Let's say we offer them 5 million, 10 million, something like that. Alaba comes in 6 months earlier, and it solves a huge hole in Liverpool's center of defense. And Don Hutchison, who is working for the ESPN, says that Liverpool are in the January transfer market for an A-list centre half, and Liverpool are expected to look at many players, including David Alaba, Upamecano, Kalidou Koulibaly, Ben White, and even other players as well. He said this: Klopp will come up with a game plan, and he may give one of the rookie centre halves a chance to stake a claim for the centre-back position, because it might dent their confidence if they see Jordan Henderson or James Milner go and play in the centre-back spot. So he might give Nat Phillips a start, who is very, very good in the air. I think Reece Williams is a little bit quicker on the ground, so he might play him against Leicester, looking at the Jamie Vardy situation. But it's important that whoever plays, and I think Fabinho is going to be fit, but I think whoever fills the void in the short term tries to get Liverpool through the next few games, the next period, to try and get them to January. I think Upamecano's buyout clause at Leipzig is £40 million next summer, so that's not a huge amount of money for such a young talent. Koulibaly is still at Napoli, who was valued at about 60 million. So I think what it does is it really pushes Liverpool into the transfer market to go and buy an A-list centre half. And when Joe Gomez is back and Van Dijk is back, they have still got that quality. The squad from there will only be stronger. And yeah, long term we need a replacement for Lovren, who we already sold, for Matip, who we are going to sell in 1 or 2 years. So I think it's a no-brainer for Liverpool to sign somebody in the January transfer window. The Egyptian Ministry of Health said that Mo Salah could return back to England after a negative test on Thursday. We still have to wait until Salah gets tested, but this is what he said. Salah is currently in Al Ghuna to complete his quarantine, and he will conduct another test on Thursday. And I expect that this result will be a negative, because until now the player hasn't shown any symptoms. But still, because of Premier League protocols, Mo Salah won't be able to play against Leicester, even if a potential negative test happens. but after that he will be available hopefully. So let's hope that that test comes back negative and then Salah can return back to England. And according to the David Mannock, the journalist who works at the Mirror, Jordan Henderson is likely to be fit for the Leicester City game, and Andy Robertson as well. Liverpool are cautiously optimistic about these players' fitness. Fabinho is also looks likely to be fit, but Thiago is still a doubt. We shall wait and see how Thiago progresses this week in terms of his injury. So I already gave my opinion on the Mohamed Salah situation regarding the wedding that he went to, which was his brother's. But now Mido, the former Tottenham and Egypt striker, has come out with some very strong verdicts on Mo Salah. He said, "I know I may be under attack after my next comments, but it has to be said, Mohamed Salah made a big mistake by attending his brother's wedding a few days before the Egyptian national team match. He showed great negligence with the steps taken to prevent the virus, and the result was that he was infected. The neglect of Mohamed Salah caused the Egyptian team to lose a world-class player in a very important match and time. He also risked the health of his teammates. He should not have been present at his brother's wedding, especially at the time. The wedding included more than 800 people, and half of them accepted to embrace and kiss Salah. The other point here is the silence of all those responsible for the player's negligence, which confirms the fact that the player is still bigger than the national team, and this will lead to a great failure. Officials in Egypt did not direct any word of blame or reproach to Mo Salah, and the harm caused by his negligence to the Egyptian team, and I name each of the Minister of Sports, the chairman of the Egyptian FA, the coach of the national team, they are all cowards and fear Mo Salah fans who love the Liverpool star. But here I am speaking without calculations or fear of anyone, and what is being said should be said to me. No one can say that Salah did not make a mistake by going to his brother's wedding at that difficult time, and in light of the pandemic, all the English newspapers speak against us negatively. Salah should have been blamed for what he did, but everyone feels fear. And I think there are parts of it that is true. I can't fault Salah for attending his brother's wedding, because I know it would have been a really big insult not to attend his wedding. My argument was that the wedding should have been postponed. Salah should have told his brother, let's postpone the wedding until like 6-7 months later, until the worst part of this virus passes, and then we can have a big celebration. Because what if people die because of attending that wedding? What if Salah would have suffered more serious health issues because of attending the wedding? I just don't think it's worth the risk just to party for a night. I don't think it's worth taking that risk. And after it was revealed that David Coote will be the VAR referee for the Liverpool-Leicester game, many Liverpool fans, including myself, have asked, is this some sort of sick joke? He was the referee who didn't give Jordan Pickford a red card after ending Van Dijk's season, rupturing his knee ligaments, and I think he shouldn't referee or shouldn't be a VAR referee for any Liverpool games in the future. Yes, he should referee other games, but not Liverpool games. And this is just an insult to Liverpool that they put him again in charge of VAR. So now I'm even more afraid that Leicester will end Liverpool's long unbeaten run in the Premier League, which is like 63 games, something like that. And Jordan Henderson said that why he is so confident in himself and his ability is that, and I quote, "I gain confidence from work. When I work harder than everyone else, whether that would be in the gym or on the pitch, that obsession has always been there from a young age. I never liked to hear praise. I'm my own worst critic. I find it difficult to switch off from football. I'm constantly thinking about football all the time, thinking about how I can improve. When I was younger, when I went home from playing football, I would carry it home. It would still affect me in my normal life. When Jürgen came in, I feel he has changed a lot for me, personally as a footballer, but also as a human being, and helped me to understand and look at things differently." I wonder what he's exactly referring to. I would love to hear Jordan Henderson elaborate on this. But my guess is that Jurgen Klopp showed to Henderson that you can be very serious in your work, but also have fun and sometimes switching off from football. And yeah, it's true that when Henderson goes home to his family, he should be able to switch off his mind from football, and he should be just enjoying his time with his family. And I think Jurgen Klopp probably teaches or taught Jordan Henderson that. And John Aldridge also said that it's a desperate situation for Liverpool, and Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp must spend big on a new centre-back in the January transfer window. He said this: just when Jurgen Klopp dared to believe that he could navigate his way to success without Van Dijk, he suddenly finds himself staring at Mission Impossible. The injury to Joe Gomez has plunged Liverpool into turmoil. While it looked like they were finding a way to win without Van Dijk, the defensive issues have now reached breaking point. Unfortunately, Gomez's situation cannot be solved quickly, and when you throw in the reality that Joao Matip also has fitness worries, there is only one solution left. While Fabinho can slot in at centre-back and do a good job, Jordan Henderson could play in there at a push, and young lads like Nat Phillips and Reece Williams are showing real potential. Liverpool need to make their move to bring in a centre defender now. That player needs to be ready to come to the club when the transfer window opens on January the 1st. He needs to have a good fitness record and also have top level experience. Signing that player in the upcoming transfer window, when every club in Europe now knows Liverpool are desperate, will not be easy, and it will also be expensive. Yes, this is a moment when Jurgen Klopp needs to be bagged, as not even the greatest manager in world football can dig himself out of this hole. Liverpool have 8 Premier League games to play in what's left of 2020, starting with league leaders Leicester, which will not be an easy game with Jamie Vardy always a threat for them. Games against Wolves, Tottenham and Crystal Palace will also be big tests, and the opposition will be smelling blood when they come up against Liverpool now. Everyone always wants to beat the champions, but this is clearly a Liverpool side that have had their feet taken from underneath them, and they just have to find a way to get through it. And he is right, John Aldridge, this will be the biggest test for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp probably in the last 2 years. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later, guys. Goodbye.